Well, if you've been paying any attention to politics, or even just the news in general, you'll know that the Tory party conference has ended yesterday, and, well, if you can describe the current state of the Tory party before the conference, that was one of Theresa May supposedly managing to keep her house together, just about under what was probably the wind of Bojo the Clown. Now, post-conference, the brief, rundowns of it were, you had Boris come out and give pretty much a nothing speech about how we need to be lions and seize opportunities, but of course, as usual, in Brexit speak language, they never say what these opportunities actually are. And then he proceeded to, in a fringe event, as it's been called, to say that a city somewhere in Libya, if they removed the dead bodies, it would become the new Dubai. So, basically upsetting everyone, and once again showing that Boris Johnson is pretty much like the Highlander. It doesn't matter how much you stab him, unless you take his head, he's not going to die. And then we move on to, quite frankly, what will probably go down in history as probably the worst leader speech ever in the history of the Conservative Party. You had Theresa May literally handed a P45 by a comedian. You had her coughing fit. You then had literally her stage falling to pieces. And if Boris Johnson hadn't been out in the audience, I'd be saying that it was Boris Johnson behind there hammering at it with a sign, hammering at it from behind, trying to, make the entire stage collapse. And now, literally this morning, we had a Conservative MP who has been ousted by Conservative whips, basically saying him and 30 others have basically asked Theresa May to stand aside. And as of this morning, we also know that apparently there are some Conservative MPs who are now going to push for a leadership election in the Conservative Party. What a difference a week makes in politics. What a difference. And now, what's going to happen? Well, I'd be willing to put money on the fact that we will have a new Prime Minister by Christmas. Because, quite frankly, Theresa May cannot hold on. And I'd be very surprised, again, if a leadership election does happen, whether she will stand in that leadership election. Currently, at the moment, as I've said before, you have two top contenders who I think it will come down to, that being Boris and Mogg. I think those two are probably the only people at the moment in the Conservative Party who basically want to lead. But you also have pretty much the Conservative Party themselves who don't want Boris in charge and who don't want Mogg in charge either. So you will have a incredibly divided party. This is a party that is in absolute chaos, and if it falls any further into chaos, we could very well see another general election by next year. If it proves incapable and unable to lead, then I think we will see a vote happen in Parliament to have another general election. I think it is entirely possible that could happen if the current state of affairs continues and continues to get worse. But as usual, we will have to wait and see. So let me know what you think.